Here are my favorite tips when it comes to singing high, sustained, long belted notes. Now, this actually applies to classical and pop singing. It doesn't matter whether you're doing it in chest voice or in head voice. I have another video where I show how I hold out long notes, but I wanted to talk specifically about all the tips. Number one, the inhalation is really important. How much air you take in is only how much air you're gonna use. So take a good breath inward. Your posture is important because if you're collapsing, your lungs probably can't fill sufficiently with air. So make sure you're lifted so you're freeing up everything here. Your lungs can expand and be full of air. So that inward breath. Second of all, support. You don't want to exhale air quickly. You want to hold on to it as long as possible. Any exercises that are SOVT, semi-occluded vocal tract, look them up on YouTube. There are tons of them. Blowing through a straw or doing anything that creates a resistance kind of mimics what the vocal cords should be doing. If you're singing in high, intense, long pitch, you need to have good vocal cord closure. At the same time, you don't want to be tense at the level of your vocal cords, and you want to push only very little air through because you have efficient closure. You don't need lots and lots of air to push through. High notes mean tighter closure, also means not a lot of air goes through. So hold on to that air. It's almost like you're holding your breath. Or inhalare la voce, which means to inhale. You know, you do never sing when you're inhaling. It's not healthy, but it almost feels like it. And I could go much longer. I could go much longer. I'm supported and I'm not letting out a lot of air. So the inhale, the support, the closure, and just keeping in mind that there's a resistance. What really helps is like, if you can sing high on an M, and then opening up toward the A should almost feel exactly like the M. M only works if you're keeping the inside open a bit. Otherwise, you're kind of cutting off your sound. You're choking yourself. Like, doesn't work. But which also helps you kind of get into the mix, but that's a whole other topic. You want to have that resistance of not pushing air outward too much. Hold on to that air as much as you can. The next thing is to keep it stable. I'm always thinking movement. I'm not thinking static. Although it might seem like the pitch is just sitting there, the truth is it's not, because time continues and so motion continues. So you could start straight, then vibrato, and while you're holding straight, you kind of already anticipate vibrato. Usually something in the music is happening, even if it's not. In classical music, a lot of times you're holding these top, like caronome, cadenza. And then you kind of arrive somewhere. Same thing. Even in the vibrato, in classical, we don't do straight tone, but even in the vibrato, I'm not thinking static. I'm thinking there's emotion. I'm going forward. And a hack that I find really has helped me and my students is when I'm actually practicing going away from the pitch, like, a lot of times it's easier to hold it out then because you're not getting more and more tight and tense, which usually happens when you hold for a long time. You get more and more tense and tight. Make sure you're keeping the same shade of vowel. A lot of times it will be on an A or an open vowel. If it's a good composition, it'll help the singer out and be on an open vowel and not like E forever long or you want to like an open A or whatever it is. Works quite well. And by the way, when you sing higher, you're going to have to open any vowel up just a bit. So head voice, a lot. Chest voice, open a bit. Like E, E. So instead of thinking E, think I a little bit more. So the higher you go, you got to open those closed vowels a bit more. Space is your friend, but motion is really important. So E. And then get rid of the motion but at the same time kind of still have that feeling in your body. What does it feel like when you keep that motion? Think of the shade of the vowel. Are you keeping it? So Mozart, Alleluia, I remind myself of that ah sound all the time. Alleluia, 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 Alleluia. And then Alleluia. You got to remind yourself constantly, even if I'm not holding it, if I'm keeping one vowel, which is the case when you're holding for a long time, one pitch, you're going to have to remind yourself, is it at ah, 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 like on I will always love you? It's not that long, but it's like, and ah, 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 and ah, 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 ah. I'm constantly reminding myself of the sound of the vowel that I'm trying to stay on, which then helps me to not get too tense, because here's what happens. It becomes an or something weird that it's not actually placed correctly anymore, which then will make it more difficult to have a nice resonant sound. And actually, it sounds tense and it feels tense. Works with every genre. You might also want to do something dynamically. Maybe you're not sitting on the pitch. Maybe you are crescendoing or decrescendoing. Maybe there's a crescendo. Maybe there's a decrescendo. I'm just using that onset. Which in this case, I actually even had to transition registers while I was holding it, because high in chest voice, then transitioning to softness means I will have to kind of start the tilting. I hope this helps you, my friends. These things have helped me to sing really long phrases. It goes for phrases as much as it goes for individual pitches that are long. It's not always just a matter of air. It's also a matter of the vowel and the placement and the support. Thank you so much for watching today. Give this video a thumbs up if it was useful, and subscribe if you have not already for more singing tips. Until next time, always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing.